and I would like to introduce our speaker today, who's not a stranger to this overall community, and he has been the music director in San Luis Obispo Unity, and beyond that, he's a great teacher, a great songwriter. He's active in the big Unity world as well as other New Thought areas. So thank you, Mark Welch, for jumping in today, and we look forward to what you have to share with us. I introduce Mark Welch.
Way to start. So my job now is to get out of the way. I have no idea what to say, even though I have a full binder filled with things to say. See, the moments have changed everything. I can't really honestly remember the last time that I felt appreciated like that. That's my work, to be open and to appreciate myself in the same way, which some days I'm a master at, and some days, where did I go? And isn't that the adventure of these times? We just don't know. And that's the best thing. Because the juiciness of life doesn't just show up on command. It shows up because we're ready for that frequency and that frequency alone. And then we get to do something with that, or we get to drink it in, or we get to resist it, or we can flail, or we can write a song, or we can tell somebody off as you're driving somewhere. I was in such a good space when I headed south. See, I thought I was going north. No wonder. And it was that way until at the comfort of 75 miles an hour. Isn't that the new speed limit, right? I passed through Morro Bay, and there, CHP pulls up right next to me. So, of course, I just sort of let it off a little bit and not get excited. And he went by and he looked at me and he smiled. It was not my turn that day. Yay. Yay. It's good to be in a vibration, because a lot of times it's not. It is a vibration, but it's not like this. And it's interesting because I had no idea that this is your life day, Mark. But I came in just going, oh. You know, I remember it was 1984, 85 perhaps. Musician playing in bands in San Luis Obispo, living the lower chakra life. Because that's what it was then. But then after so many heart issues in terms of things I did, things I felt bad about, things I felt elevated about, ways that I took advantage, ways that I was taken advantage of, my heart couldn't take it anymore. And so it started to call. And I asked people around town, I said, where do you go if you want some spirituality? Fortunately, I ran into the right people. They said, go to Unity. I said, what's that? And so after 3 people telling me the same thing, I knew that that was a sign. So I went to Unity. And I remember walking in and feeling you. And the music, after I've been playing I Can't Get Satisfaction hundreds of times, I finally felt something else. And it reminded me of being a boy. It reminded me of a deeper innocence that I had not forgotten, that still lived in me, but I had misplaced along the way. I didn't know what to do with it. So I tried to control it. I tried to say, okay, I'm a musician, so I need to sing here so that I can get back into my place of power. I do. In retrospect, it was a great decision, but it was also a safe and easy place for me to go when, in a sense, I just needed to surrender. And I needed to be held. And thank God that I walked into a place where hugging was good, where people connected. And I let it in and I felt it. And then that helped me to start to feel safe, perhaps for the first time. I don't recall when it was, which season it was, but it kind of had to be fall, because that's the season where things begin to open. That's the place where I return home. I was born September 1st. I was born on Labor Day, believe it or not. I really was. It's like, okay, great. And I was 2 weeks early. I needed to get in here. I needed to come. And I needed to go into solitary confinement in that incubator. I needed 2 weeks in the cooker. And I have to say, the power of that, in retrospect, was that I got to maintain my connection with Source and Spirit, unencumbered by the interruptions of the family at the time, unencumbered by the demands of what was necessary to take care of me, unencumbered by the ideas of limitation that were so easily strewn about in those times, kind of still now. But it gave me a gentle beginning, and that has never left me. So, where to go from this moment? I stand in the presence of magnificence. Every one of us. Possessing the template of the I am that we have always been. It never left. And yet, even in New Thought, we set it up so we yearn for something to happen. And sometimes don't remember that we already are. So every song I ever wrote was in the first tense. It was I. Some people went, God, you're just so full of yourself. Yeah. In a sense, yes, because I needed to remember what was true within this design. So let's fast forward to, say, 1987. I heard the calling of the harmonic convergence, which was the first of the great celestial events that the humans were being subjected to. All around the world, people were called to go to a holy spot. So I went to Mount Shasta. My friend Bill accompanied me, and I don't remember Bill's last name. Sorry, Bill. But there we were on the mountain going, why are we here? But with 2,000 people, we held space. And around the world, the 2,000 here, the 2,000 there, they added up. And it created a collective frequency that says, we're ready to show up. And I believe that those actions were good faith moves that led us then, in 13 years, to the year 2000. And if you recall, after we realized that the computers were not going to take over, if you remember that, we were then able to launch ourselves into the new frequency of this time, the new century, which led us to 2012. Now, by then, I was totally immersed in New Thought. Well, let's be honest, I was into being a New Age guy, if you know what I mean on that, right? So that meant, a male energy that's more sensitive, that's more open. So the lower chakras were calling again in a different way. Spirit was reaching in and touching me in a way that said, take the richness of being on the planet and pair it with this knowingness that allows you then to come from here and be whole. Because that's the template of everyone here. I don't care what you've learned, what we've all learned about who we are. The bulk of it, honestly, was not true. I have something here, and it's called the Doctrine of Limitations. And the Doctrine of Limitations has at least 100 statements that I was basically raised in. Let me remind you of a couple things. Geez, how much did you put in here? All right. We are limited beings, okay? Men are superior, okay? Others who have it tell us how to get it, okay? We need an intermediary to contact spirit, okay? We get weaker as we age, okay? We are prone to disease, all right? Pills will make everything better. Sometimes I still reach for Advil when I'm in pain, even though Tylenol says don't do that. Feelings are not to be trusted. That's a huge one. The more you have, the more desirable you are. Do not trust. Be afraid and protect yourself and your family. You will never be good enough. Certain body types and looks are best and desirable for now. War is necessary. Some are more worthy than others. They just sound like words, but these infiltrated how we experienced our own preciousness. Okay, so be it. So we passed through 2012 and actually entered the age of Aquarius. It wasn't born in the song of 1967, but that was the start. And there was an invitation that said, we're going to force you to remember who you are. I remember on December 31st, 2012, in Atascadero, doing a workshop that was like the end of life workshop. We had no idea if we were going to come out of it at the end, at midnight. So we went in for 3 hours, just a group of folks who were willing to do this rubbish. And we played, and we remembered, and we sang, and we felt, and we connected, as if it was the last time, because we didn't know. And because we didn't know, that gave permission to experience fully. All right. 10:59 and 50 seconds. We created a circle in hands and we stood there and waited for God knows what. And then midnight came, and 1 second later we went, all right, good night. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Have a great life. We'll see you in the next experience. Humans, don't you just love it? Good faith. It created the next moment. And it created openings for every one of us as well as those around us. It's not that we were changing the world. We were just doing ourselves. We were just attempting in that moment to be fully present. And yay about vibration, where it starts to shift. And your vibration influences me. And the higher and more clear you are, the more I feel that way when I'm in your presence. Just like every one of us. It's no accident that we stand next to the person at the market, because they've got a vibration for us. It may be a vibration that elevates. It may be one that reminds us of an area that needs cleaning. If we pay attention, if we remember that we are oh so much more. There's a phrase that says, nothing is as it seems. Let's say that. Nothing is as it seems. But, but, but my beliefs don't hold up against that, because most of my moments of living give me an opportunity to react. And if I react, then I'm playing out my programming. You know what I mean? If I allow and respond and go, wait a minute, this isn't really what's going on. What's really going on? And then something is revealed to me. Because from what I understand, that higher self part of me that connects and is part of this great triad that is me, is pulling people, places, things, situations in and says, here, this is your moment to remember the template of the I am that I have always been and will always be. So if I attend to that, and if I keep seeking that template, it's guaranteed that I will live in the frequency of the I am that I am expressing as me, with my connection, conscious connection, energetic connection. Oh, I forget I'm on camera. Hi. Do I look all right? Oh, God. All right. Thank you. I'm on sound also. The age of Aquarius, the age when the feminine rises. Not like the old ways when it was a fight between the male and the female energies. Every 2,300 years it would shift, and the male energy would come, and then the female energy. And so often it was about, oh yeah, well, you remember doing that? Well, yay. Yay, we did that dance. And then the actual age of Aquarius came and said, you are balanced, male and female. That is the design. Reclaim that. So is it any wonder, in many ways, why there's confusion in these times, as we all start to integrate that awareness into our action, into our interfacing with one another, into our own understanding of who we are. I receive life from this side. I give action over here. It's been too action oriented for a long, long time. And we see it playing out in the institutions. Yay. Yay. The shift has come, and it was initiated in 2012. Okay, great. Things kind of didn't go as planned. So we needed another opportunity to look ourselves in the mirror. Do you think it's an accident that the new generations are so infatuated with how they look and they take pictures all the time of themselves? Think before of the previous generations that wouldn't even look at themselves in the mirror and would find fault with themselves all the time. So here we're being given the opposite perspective that says, worship yourself. Worship your beauty and reclaim your magnificence. Doesn't matter what you look like. You look great against the sea in the background. Just do it. And then we kind of go, this is so self-centered. Okay. There's a message. Your higher self brings forward the opportunity to look in the mirror. That's a mighty mirror back there, by the way. Ooh. Okay, so it wasn't quite working, so along comes a bug. And the bug of 2020 that invited us all to head on home and do solitary again. So then we go, what do we do with that time? Is the universe saying, I love you so much that I'm going to take away all the distractions and give you an opportunity to stand there and just keep looking? until you find and remember and reclaim that which you have always been. So for me, 3 years, now I lived alone anyway, so what's the big deal? But it was different, and many of you probably know there was something different about it. And so as a songwriter, I was told, write your songs, write your 33 songs. Ooh, 33, that's a big, very important spiritual number. Of course I'll do that. So every one that I wrote based on the titles that I just threw out there because I'd heard it here and heard it there became a vehicle for me to go deeper. I had no choice. I had no choice. So I listened, I wrote, I sobbed, I felt. I felt and I went, I have worked on this crap for so long. Why now more? Because there is more. So go back and remember, and go back and release. And remember that your body is designed energetically to hold the moments of living and hold that energy until you're willing to release it. If you feel it, it will clear, it will release, but I don't do feelings, many say. Really? Okay, well, let's start with anger and rage. That one's pretty easy to access in our culture. You can always find something to be pissed about. And I have dear friends that all they do is find, what's wrong with this moment? There's something right there. Oh God, look at, and it's hard to be around them because that's not what I want to do. Do I do it sometime? You bet. I find fault. I found fault on the way here with the driver in the Suburban. All right. Beautiful thought. Suburban comes up and it's pushing me from behind. I remember driving to school to teach and going up the grade years ago, and someone behind me, I looked in the rearview mirror and they were putting on their makeup. Totally understand they were in a rush, but the rest of the cars had stopped and this one decided, oh, not enough time. So I remember that every time a car comes up behind me and I start to feel the energy of that, I start to remember. Sometimes I'll cry. And I know at the moment the first tear falls, I'm getting clearer. I'm getting lighter. I'm getting back to my true vibration. So 2020 through 23, I don't know what you did during that time. But do you notice and understand how there's no longer anything called normal? That is such a seduction place. Normal usually means I got my gear around me. I got all the things that I love to do. And because of that, the next thing I start ignoring life because I got my stuff and I got my routines. Yay, hallelujah. That's a good way to go. But it separates me. And the last thing that someone who spent time in the incubator needs is separation. I did that. I don't want that. I want to experience the moment fully, and that involves people. So my invitation is to take normal, flush it, because normal takes me out of the moment, which brings me to a sense the name of the talk, which is the season of within. This is not a random planet that we're hanging out on. This is not a place where we incarnated into some inert substance. A living, breathing being who is in symbiotic relationship with each of us. Really? Really? So you're telling me that what I feel on the inside is going to be reflected by nature? Yes. Consider that. And reminder, I'm not here to tell you how things are. I'm only sharing what I've learned along the way. And maybe it has some value. And my hope is that it triggers your own inner memory of the deeper truth of who you are. That's all. Otherwise, we had a great time. We'll have something in there. And you'll come to my table and buy all my stuff and all of that. And then I'll go home. And the Suburban will come up and I'll go, God dang, get off me. But I will have had a moment of bliss and joy, knowing full well that more will come. The seasons, the earth aligns with us. If indeed nature reflects the inner state of humanity or me, is it an accident that we can see so much heat on the planet, that we can see the storms, the intensification, the thing we've put into the box of climate change, when all the earth is doing is reflecting you and me and inviting us to get clear and to get clean. The cleaner and clearer you get, the less we're going to have these storms. Why not consider that? Because the options, we hear them all the time about how horrible it is, and it is challenging. But the invitation now is to see how you contribute to global warming, how you contribute in a sense to the rage that is out there. What is it about each of you? What is it within you that can find the place of peace, that can find the moment that says, I am choosing to be this? Will it be that moment when you actually say, excuse me, when you walk in front of someone again? Remember how we used to do that? Remember. Now it's just, right into the camera. By the way, I have no idea on time. Could you tell me if we're good, or what is it? It's time? Oh, you're done. You're done. You're done, dude. Okay. My invitation here is to use the power of the earth. And you can do it by just be aware of your feet. Be aware of the connection, of the energy that flows up through the left side and sweeps through and clears out debris and goes right down the right side. And the earth says, I love you so much that I will support you unquestionably. And I will also push you around a little bit. Bring it on. Because I am so ready to be whole. I'm so ready to live in that truth that we all know. No matter what the beliefs, no matter all of the other things that have gotten in the way, the doctrine of limitations, all of this stuff, we let it go. And we replace it with, I'm going to go over just for one moment. I got a statement I want to say here. If I can find it. All right, I'll be back next Sunday to read the statement that is calling out. There it is. Okay, normally I would ask you to repeat, but this is a little too long. On all levels, in all dimensions, and in all my energy bodies, I now release the energetic residue of all past thoughts, illusions, beliefs that have inhibited me from remembering my divine self and my constant connection to Source. I lift and release all veils over the truth of this dimension to reveal to me the beauty and love in all of life. I release the blockages, all blockages to the conduit of the I am, that I am expressing as me, that flows constantly into me via my open crown chakra. I willingly accept the guidance, the gifts, the information, and the inspirations that are directed to me to make easy and flowing my way through this earthly dimensional life. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you for the moment. Thank you.